Hello guys, this is Slater here. I wanted to share something personal with you all. I've recently been diagnosed with an intestinal obstruction, and the doctors found a benign mass that needs to be surgically removed. Because of this, I'll be stepping away briefly from April 23rd to April 27th for surgery and recovery. Now, for the first time in over 10 years, this channel is taking a short break from wrestling news. Trust me, that decision wasn't easy. I've always tried to show up no matter what, but health has to come first this time. I'm really sorry we won't be covering the daily news during those 5 days. But don't worry, we're not disappearing completely. On April 23rd, we're dropping a brand new wrestling list video that I really hope you'll check out. Your support on that means the world while we take this short breather. I also want to acknowledge something important. The past couple of weeks, things may have felt a little off. That's because this health situation was already affecting things behind the scenes. But once we're back on April 28th, we're hitting that upload button hard. Back to the best wrestling news coverage you expect from us. We've got massive plans for 2025, and I want you to know this loud and clear. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to stay, and I'm fired up to bring you even bigger, better, and bolder wrestling content in the months ahead. Thank you so much for standing by this channel. Your support means everything, and I can't wait to come back stronger and better for all of you. Stay safe. Stay strong.
We're kicking off today with Monday Night Raw as the post-WrestleMania edition of WWE's flagship show opened with an appearance from new undisputed WWE Champion John Cena. Furthering his heel role, Cena had the ring announcer address him as the greatest of all time, the never-seen 17, and the last real champion, before John ran down the fans. Cena said he didn't forgive those who were now cheering him and taunted the post-WrestleMania Raw crowd to hijack the show as we've seen in the past. Though some fans began chanting, "We are sorry," Cena told the fans watching at home that the fans were saying they weren't sorry before turning his attention to the Titantron. The number 36 was displayed, indicating the number of dates he said he'd work on this retirement tour before running down the dates fans have already lost with him. There are now just 27 dates before John retires, and Cena argued that the fans were hypocrites for booing Cody at WrestleMania this year after previously supporting him. Cena continued to run down the fans and posed with the title, but ate an RKO out of nowhere from Randy Orton that left the self-professed last real champion laid out. Orton posed with the title and then on the turnbuckle for the Las Vegas crowd, making clear who John's first adversary will be in this title run. This was a solid promo, and Cena delivered exactly what he needed to do after winning on Sunday, as the champ solidified his role as a heel and set up his next major feud in the process. Orton is a logical challenger due to their long history as rivals and friends, and fans can expect their match at the Backlash PLE in a few weeks in Orton's hometown of St. Louis, Missouri. While having Orton versus Cena is great, it's unfortunate that it's come this quickly into John's title run, as the odds that WWE will take the gold off of John now are virtually non-existent. While WWE could repeat this match later in the year, potentially at SummerSlam, as it stands, it's all but confirmed that Orton will taste defeat in his hometown against his greatest foe. Orton may have attacked Cena to set up a future as a 15-time WWE World Champion, and it was on a recent SmackDown that Randy brought up that number to then-champion Cody Rhodes. But what did you think of this? Are you excited for Orton versus Cena perhaps for the last time, or would you have picked anybody else as John's first challenger? Let us know in the comments. The Raw after WrestleMania is synonymous with shocking returns and epic moments, and this year proved to be no different thanks to the returning Rusev. The New Day were seen walking backstage with their newly won World Tag Team titles, and Karrion Kross was seen smiling, a nod to Kross's role in turning the pair heel last year. When the new champs were in the ring, they were confronted by Alpha Academy, but just before the match began, the lights went out and unfamiliar music was heard. Rusev's name appeared on the screens, and the Bulgarian Brute made his return, and while the New Day escaped, Rusev battered Akira Tozawa and Otis, putting the latter in the accolade. The segment ended with Rusev Day chants from the crowd in Las Vegas, as the audience were ecstatic to see Rusev back after 5 years away from WWE programming. Having him attack a tag team was an interesting call, as it could be a tease that Rusev has a partner, but it could also just be Rusev establishing dominance by defeating two men at once. Interestingly, Matthew Raywalt, known to WWE fans as Aiden English, took to Twitter to share that he is a free agent despite appearing for TNA, teasing a Rusev Day reunion with the Bulgarian. In a backstage promo, his first since returning, Rusev said it's been 5 long years, but he's back where he belongs, and this time he'll take what is rightfully his, which is everything. Are you excited to see Rusev back after going unused for much of his career as Miro in AEW? Who do you want to see him face first? Share your thoughts down below. In the closing moments of Raw, Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman made their way to the ring, and while fans sang Seth's song, they also chanted for his rival, CM Punk. Rollins didn't get much of a chance to speak before Punk's music hit, and the pair wasted no time in brawling before Punk teased getting physical with Heyman. Punk pushed Paul into the corner, but Rollins defended his new manager and hit a stomp on Punk to seemingly bring an end to the chaos. Heyman grabbed the mic to say that from now on, until all the way into WrestleMania 42, Seth Rollins is the new #1 top star of the wrestling industry. This comment brought out Roman Reigns, who nailed a massive spear on Seth, which left Heyman all alone, and the OTC's former wise man ate a Superman punch. Just as Reigns was about to spear Heyman, Bron Breakker showed up to deliver a spear of his own to the OTC and followed up with another spear to CM Punk. The Raw after WrestleMania ended with Bron Breakker sending Roman Reigns through the barricade with another spear, and he, Rollins, and Heyman stood tall in the ring. This was a bold move to end Raw and sets Breakker up nicely, proving that he won't be forgotten after losing the Intercontinental Championship to Dominik Mysterio. While this may have come as a shock to many, on the Pat McAfee show earlier in the day, Heyman had teased that Rollins may not have been his only new affiliate. Now fans know Heyman was talking about Bron Breakker, but this comment leaves open the possibility that Heyman may have another new client to his name. This could be setting up a tag team match, potentially at Backlash, that would pit the unlikely pairing of Punk and Reigns against the united front of Paul Heyman's newest clients. Did this segment deliver for you? And are you excited to see Bron align himself with Heyman and Rollins? Share your thoughts in the comments. While fans may have been hoping that Paul Heyman would explain himself on Raw, that wasn't meant to be, but before the show, Paul did discuss betraying CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Appearing on the Pat McAfee show, Heyman rejected the notion that he and Rollins had been in cahoots, saying that the decision to join Seth came when Paul handed him a steel chair. Heyman said that Punk had put him in an impossible, emotional, compromising position and questioned why his so-called best friend would choose to cause Paul conflict with the OTC. Speaking about Reigns, Heyman argued that he didn't betray Reigns and said that Reigns instead squeezed everything Paul could give him before discarding him. Heyman recalled having been emasculated in front of the fans by his tribal chief in the past and relished in the low blow he gave, saying, "I hit him right in the balls, damn right I did." Out of the 3 men who headlined WrestleMania 41 Night 1, Rollins was the only one who didn't make things difficult for Paul, culminating in a huge turn on WWE's biggest stage. The women's tag team titles were on the line on Raw as new champions Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria defended the gold against former champions Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan were at ringside to watch the action as the NXT duo will challenge for the women's tag team titles on this week's episode of NXT. The match saw Morgan get the pin on Valkyria to win the titles back, and after the match, Lynch picked up Lyra and gave her a hug before delivering a massive beatdown on the Intercontinental Champion. Lynch screamed in Valkyria's face as she continued her assault before leaving, only to return and deliver 2 of her manhandle slam finishers to send another painful message. Lynch later returned once again to deliver one more manhandle slam, confirming her heel turn and seemingly setting Lynch up as a future challenger for the women's Intercontinental title. It was a shocking turn from Lynch, and questions have sprouted online as to whether this attack confirms that she attacked Bayley to take her spot in the WrestleMania 41 title match. Speaking of the role model, WWE's commentary confirmed that Bayley will be out of action for some time during Raw, and this storyline feels very similar to what happened to Jade Cargill. Liv and Raquel have denied that they attacked Bayley, and given that they were found innocent with Jade and Becky's attack to Lyra, it looks like the new champions are in the clear once again. This was certainly a stunning moment on Raw, and why exactly did WWE have Lyra and Lynch win the titles at WrestleMania just to lose them one day later? Well, the obvious reason was that it set up the Lynch heel turn, giving Raw's brand a top female heel to go against faces like IYO SKY, Rhea Ripley, Bayley, Bianca Belair, and the Valkyrie. A title program with Sky is especially interesting and would be far more compelling than Lynch being a respectful face challenging Sky, who would be another respectful face. Another reason could be WWE believes the Judgment Day holding the gold is the right call, especially with Dominik Mysterio now the Intercontinental Champion. While there have been teases of a breakup, having titles in the group seemingly sends a full-on split, as the faction will be more focused on keeping hold of its titles, at least for the time being. But what did you make of this title change, as well as Becky's heel turn? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments section below. For years, Cathy Kelley has been part of WWE's on-screen product as a backstage interviewer, but things may soon be about to change. PW Insider reports that Kelley has been doing in-ring training at the Performance Center and has also been involved in promo classes to build her character work. It's possible that Cathy is training for a future in the ring, or possibly as a manager, a role that may require her to take bumps from time to time. Whatever's next, fans can expect to see plenty of Cathy Kelley on TV, and it appears that she'll be doing much more than holding the microphone for wrestlers in the near future. New World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso had a hero's ovation in Las Vegas on Raw with plenty of yeeting and "you deserve it" chants inside T-Mobile Arena. As Jey spoke about the biggest win of his career, Sami Zayn arrived and hugged his friend, and there was a Sami Uso chant, a nod to Zayn's time alongside Jey in the Bloodline. Sami shared his pride in Jey's success, and the pair were later joined by Jimmy Uso as the trio yeeted along with the whole arena to close the segment out. There was no heel turn in this segment, something of a surprise given what also transpired on the show, but that doesn't mean a heel turn isn't coming. Before Sami was written off TV at Elimination Chamber, Karrion Kross was trying to coax Zayn to the dark side, and we expect that WWE will explore this story further now that Sami is back. Kross was on Raw in a backstage segment where he confronted AJ Styles, arguing that Styles' loss at WrestleMania has legitimized Logan Paul, a man Kross cannot stand. AJ fired back, saying that he didn't like who he saw in the mirror during his Evil Ways days, and vowed that he would never go back to being how he was. Styles added that if Kross has such a big issue with things, he should do something about it, and Karrion suggested that he may have to take actions into his own hands. Gunther was on Raw and in an unsurprisingly sour mood after losing the World Heavyweight Championship, and took his frustrations out on Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. As Gunther berated the pair, the show cut to a commercial break, suggesting that this was unplanned and the Ring General would shove Cole and try to choke him out. This prompted McAfee to defend his broadcast partner, only for the former world champion to annihilate Pat with a sleeper hold. When WWE officials tried to get Gunther off Pat, he applied the hold again but faced a "you tapped out" chant from the crowd inside the T-Mobile Arena. McAfee was let off by officials as he sold Gunther's unprovoked attack, and was this teasing a feud and match between the Austrian and Pat McAfee? Only time will tell. Backstage, Cole was angry and told Adam Pearce that he suffered a broken nose, but refused to let a bully like Gunther keep him from his job, especially on the post-WrestleMania Raw. With McAfee out of commission, Cole was joined by Joe Tessitore, and we'll have to see if Gunther will face some kind of punishment for his actions on Raw. In the final match of Raw, new Intercontinental Champion Dominik Mysterio put the gold on the line against Penta, and in the closing moments, it appears Dom's reign was going to end. That was until the return of JD McDonagh occurred as he shoved Penta off the top rope, allowing Mysterio to capitalize and get his first successful title defense with the belt. McDonagh had been out of action since January after a dive saw him collide with the announce table, and while fans feared a neck injury, the bulk of the problems were in his fractured ribs. It's worth noting that despite being cheered, a reaction Dom also received at WrestleMania, he was still using heel tactics, and it remains to be seen what response he gets next week. After the match, Mysterio, Liv, Raquel, JD, and Carlito celebrated, but Finn Balor seemed far from pleased at what transpired in the main event. Finn was shocked to see McDonagh back, teasing that his friend had not let him know he was returning, and suggesting that McDonagh is closer to Dom than he is to Balor. While Balor's ousting from the Judgment Day didn't come tonight, WWE continues to tease that his time being an ally of Dominik and the others is coming to an end. There was a package highlighting El Grande Americano's victory at WrestleMania, complete with a newspaper article showing the streets of Mexico filled with fans of the alleged luchador. Women's World Champion IYO SKY was on Raw to celebrate her WrestleMania victory, but was confronted by NXT Women's Champion Stephanie Vaquer. Vaquer showed respect to Sky and requested a match against the Best, a match that Adam Pearce was happy to grant for this week's show. This was a dream champion versus champion match, but ended when Roxanne Perez attacked Sky, potentially marking the official call-up of the Prodigy. While the Raw after WrestleMania is known for being a night of call-ups, WWE has confirmed that Perez will face Stephanie on tonight's edition of NXT. Julia also made her presence felt on Raw by attacking Vaquer, potentially teasing an alliance between Perez and the woman who took the NXT Women's title from her in January. Rhea Ripley confronted Julia before Mommy handed the Women's World title to Sky, teasing that their issues aren't over yet, despite Sky's victory at WrestleMania 41. And that was this week's Raw, and what did you think of the show? Did it deliver after what some believe was an underwhelming WrestleMania? Let us know your thoughts below. While this week's Raw was a huge episode of the show, Bianca Belair was not a part of the in-ring festivities, and that may have been because the EST is dealing with an injury. According to Fightful Select, there was a worry during her WrestleMania 41 triple threat that Belair suffered a finger injury, though it's unclear when exactly this happened. That didn't stop her from finishing her match, and she and Ripley even were spotted hugging after the match in a character-breaking moment for the two rivals. As for when Belair will be back on TV, that remains to be seen, but the EST was conspicuous by her absence during this week's Raw. We are looking ahead to Survivor Series now, as this week WWE confirmed that this year's event will take place on November 29th from Petco Park in San Diego, California. While this location was expected, as Fightful reported it in March, the show may have undergone a major change, as the logo for this year's event does not feature the term War Games. WWE has used the iconic match at the past 3 Survivor Series events, but the absence of War Games from the logo has left fans wondering if the concept's been dropped. It's worth stating that the logo still features a steel cage mesh, so it may be that War Games will continue to be used even if the term isn't on the logo. Do you think WWE should continue with War Games, or is it time for Survivor Series to go back to its traditional 5-on-5 elimination tag match roots? Let us know in the comments. And we're ending with more from Raw, as the show ended with Bron Breakker and Seth Rollins standing tall with Paul Heyman, and that continued after the show. In fan-recorded footage from after Raw, the trio enjoyed their moment before leaving the ring and posed one more time on the stage. As for CM Punk and Roman Reigns, they were left licking their wounds as they slowly made their way backstage, but it's clear that this is just the beginning of things.